What's going on, guys? Bobby from NK Performance and Racing here. I figured I'd make this its own video. A lot of you guys have already seen this if you watch Dr. Tunamall's YouTube channel. It's going to be a video of me fly cutting the pistons in my Gen 5 LT engine. I wanted to make it its own video to make it easy for people to refer back to, because I get a lot of phone calls and people, I tell them, this is the camshaft I recommend, but you got a fly cut, and they don't really know what all it entails. So just figured I'd make it its own video. That way people can refer back to it quickly. If you got any questions, leave a comment, and I'm going to edit this up in a way that it's going to be in steps, so it'll be pretty simple to follow. L83, this is a Gen 5 LT, like a 2014 and newer 5.3 liter out of a truck. I'm going to get this motor ready to go in the El Camino. Luckily we have like 3 or 4 of these motors sitting around, because I needed to rob a rod and piston out of this one, because I made an oopsie, and I need to fly cut the pistons for piston and valve clearance reasons for the camshaft I'm putting in it. And I had the bright idea. I was like, well, I'll just pop it out and I'll just chuck it up in the Bridgeport, and I think I can mill the dome where I need to. And well, I couldn't really do it accurately and repeat it, so I don't have a piston device, so it's kind of just, it is what it is. What I'm going to do is something pretty cool, actually. GPI, Gwatney Performance, they make a in-head fly cutter tool. They make them in a couple of different intake valve diameters, and also for exhaust valve diameter, I do believe. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this cylinder head that I'm not using. I'm going to pop the intake valves out of it, and when I chuck it up on the block, I can, well, you know what, I'll just show you, because it's pretty cool. It allows you to run a larger cam in these LT 5.3 motors, because of all the Gen 5 LTs, the L83 and the L84 5.3 motors have the tightest piston to valve clearance. Now they actually have an exhaust valve release, and that's because they're a VVT engine, so the cam timing retards, and when the cam timing retards, the exhaust valve close event gets later, so they need to have the exhaust valve relief, but they're very, very tight on the intake because they don't have a valve relief on the intake. Really, if you want to put any aggressive cam in these things, you got to fly cut the intake side. So we're going to do that. I'm going to show you that. Show you some other cool stuff I'm doing here. Check this out, what I'm doing here with the fly cutting. All right, I got these heads disassembled. All the valves are out of them. Seals are out of them too. You want to take those out. I'm ready to put my GPI tool in. And it's as simple as just putting it on the intake, of course, because that's what we're trying to fly cut. So I'm gonna put it in there, put it up against the seat. And then for now, I'm gonna put the collar on, but I'm gonna put it all the way up against the valve guide, and I'll show you why. See, I got it on there tight enough to where you can't wiggle it back and forth, so it's up against the seat completely. Now I'm going to drop it on the motor, and I'll show you what you do next. All right, so I have the cylinder head mounted on the block. I have four bolts holding it in. I have the dowels on there. When you're doing this, you're going to want to make sure you have the dowels in there, because you need everything to be straight. And as you can see, I have the collar loose now. The piston is up near top dead center, and I have the tool sitting against the top of the piston. So I know I need to fly cut this thing 60 thousandths. Actually, not 60. I don't need to fly cut it that much, but I'm going to, because I don't know what the future holds for this engine. I might put a larger cam in it down the road. I just don't know. So I might as well go ahead and fly cut it 60 now, just to make sure I'm not going to have a problem down the road if I change things up. If you don't know how much you need to fly cut, you should probably ask your cam guy. He should be able to calculate it for you. If I'm your cam guy, just let me know what you have, and I should be able to tell you how much you need to fly cut. So what I have here is I have 60 thousandths worth of feeler gauges, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift up the collar here. I hope you guys can see this. And I'm going to place it between the valve guide and the collar, so there's 60 thousandths gap between them after I tighten the collar. Theoretically, when I run the power drill on this, it's going to stop when it gets to the collar, which means it theoretically should cut a 60 thousandths valve pocket in the top of the piston. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on that. Put you guys back on time lapse. All right, as you can see, we fly cut the first piston, and I had to pull the head off, of course, because I got to swap the tool to the next cylinder. But that's it. It's basically just notching the side of the dome. Now, I can't stress this enough. If you're doing this in the car, or you don't plan on pulling the motor apart, I mean, put something over. I mean, you can put masking tape over the whole deck surface, and you can run a vacuum, and there's ways to keep things clean when you're doing this in the car, or if you don't plan on tearing the motor back down. I do plan on tearing the motor back down, so I'm not taking as much precaution. But that's it. Now I just got 7 more to go. Well, I just realized I'm a complete idiot, and I don't know how to work a phone, so I forgot to hit record on the time lapse for the second half of the engine. But as you can see, we are all done, and we have fly cut all 8 pistons. So we now have 60 thousandths more piston to valve clearance on the intake side. Obviously, we have miles on the exhaust side because of the valve release. That's it. Super simple. If you got any questions, leave a comment.